Deep in the rugged hills of Spain, where mist clings to the trees and every sound echoes through the valleys, a silent battle unfolds between man and beast. Wild boar hunting here isn't just an old tradition, it's a way of life, a profession rooted in generations of skill, survival, and respect for nature. Each hunt carries risk and reward. The meat of a single wild boar can fetch a high price depending on its quality, but for these hunters, it's not just about profit. It's about protecting farmlands, maintaining ecological balance, and facing nature at its most unpredictable. The story begins in the province of Avila, where a team of professional hunters set out for another long, perilous day in the mountains. Even before reaching the licensed hunting estate, the danger showed itself. A massive boar emerged from the roadside brush, charging directly at their vehicle. With reflexes honed from years of experience, one hunter raised his rifle and fired a precise shot that dropped the animal instantly. It was a dramatic start that set the tone for the day ahead. Upon reaching the hunting ground, the team released their trained dogs, who fanned out across the terrain, noses to the wind, tracking the scent of their prey. The sound of barking soon echoed through the trees, a sign that the chase was on. From the ridge, a boar burst from the undergrowth, muscles rippling, eyes wild with fear. But the hunters were ready. One steady pull of the trigger and the creature stumbled, collapsing moments later. The hunt continued, each movement deliberate, every decision critical. The mountain air was thick with tension as the hunters climbed higher, positioning themselves strategically. When the dogs cornered another boar, it became a deadly dance of instinct and precision. One wrong move could mean disaster, yet one perfect shot meant success. Further along the slope, another hunter stood alone, waiting in near silence. The faint sound of dogs grew louder, signaling that the prey was closing in. His heart raced. The forest fell still for a heartbeat, then the boar exploded from the brush. The hunter fired rapidly, the recoil pounding against his shoulder as smoke filled the air. Within seconds, the threat was over. The team regrouped, adrenaline still coursing through their veins. For a moment, there was calm, until a sudden roar shattered the quiet. Another wild boar charged straight toward Diego, one of the senior hunters. He reacted instantly, taking the shot just as the animal lunged forward. It fell only a few feet away. In this line of work, there's no room for hesitation. Out here, a single second can mean the difference between life and death. The sun climbed higher, and the dogs continued their relentless pursuit, guiding the hunters through steep trails and dense vegetation. Every few minutes came the sound of a distant gunshot, followed by the echoing barks of triumph. As the team pushed deeper into the wilderness, they came upon a cluster of wild boars feeding near a ridge. It was the perfect setup. They crept closer, carefully aligning their sights. In an instant, the stillness broke into chaos. A series of shots rang out and the boars scattered. One was struck cleanly and rolled down the hill, the rest vanishing into the shadows of the forest. But the hunt wasn't just about numbers or trophies. Each boar taken meant fewer destroyed fields, fewer sleepless nights for farmers whose crops had been ravaged. In rural Spain, these animals are a serious threat, capable of wiping out acres of farmland overnight. The government issues special hunting licenses to control the growing population, ensuring that hunters operate within strict environmental laws. The team respected those rules, taking only what was permitted and using every part of the animal responsibly. The next mission began miles away, where local villagers had reported repeated boar attacks on fruit orchards. The damage was severe, and the hunters were called in once again to restore peace. Moving through the underbrush, their eyes scanned every shadow. Suddenly, a dark figure broke cover, a wild boar charging head-on. A single, perfectly aimed shot ended the confrontation. The team moved positions, staying alert. Minutes later, the sound of hooves echoed again. This time, multiple targets. The hunters adjusted, firing in unison. Smoke and dust filled the air as another boar went down, bringing a mix of relief and triumph. Back at camp, the spoils of the hunt were prepared with care. For many of these hunters, the reward isn't just in the chase, it's in the tradition that follows. Fresh wild boar meat, slow-cooked over an open fire, becomes a shared feast among friends and family, a celebration of both skill and respect for the animal. But rest never lasts long. By afternoon, they were back in the field, moving quietly across open slopes. At any moment, another encounter could begin. And it did. Two massive boars emerged unexpectedly from the trees. Within seconds, rifles were raised, the crack of gunfire breaking the silence once more. The boars dropped where they stood, their threat neutralized. In Texas, similar battles unfold across rural farmlands where wild boars have become a growing menace. These invasive creatures destroy crops, tear up fields, and even damage property. Hunters in the US have taken up the challenge just like their European counterparts, turning necessity into skill. On one such hunt, a family farm had been overrun overnight. The team set up automatic feeders to lure the pigs in. When they arrived, the hunters took their positions in elevated blinds, scanning through scopes for the perfect shot. One clean pull of the trigger and the first target fell. The hunt continued through the day and into the evening, with precision, patience, and teamwork at the core of every move. As dusk fell, the hunters settled into their blinds for the final round. The air grew still, broken only by the rustling of leaves. Then, movement. A dark silhouette crept across the field. One hunter steadied his breath, lined up the shot, and fired. The shadow dropped instantly. Even after years of experience, that moment never loses its intensity. The thrill, the respect, and the deep connection to nature remain unchanged. By dawn, the team prepared to return home, exhausted but satisfied. Every hunt is more than a chase, it's a balance of survival, responsibility, and discipline. For these men and women, wild boar hunting is a calling, not just a sport. It's about preserving the delicate line between human needs and nature's power. In the wild, every heartbeat counts. And as the last echoes of gunfire fade into the morning mist, the hunters know they'll soon return again, because the wilderness never